What I am curious to ask you about is what about the agents who do want to work, but for whatever reason they're making contacts, but they're just not getting results. What would you tell these people?
Yeah, so man, another loaded question because there's so much to respond to
And
on that.
there are so many different variables, and I know per agent we have our meetings where we track our numbers, and as Andrew talked about in our last interview, just being able to isolate exactly what the person's problem is
Oh
sometimes can be
yes.
so advantageous. However, sometimes at the beginning they have every single problem. So
Yep.
the people who are, there are people who sometimes they are talking to 150, 200, 300 people every week and they're not seeing a result yet. What would you tell those people?
I would say no, you're not. Number one, because in most cases, I'm not saying that there's not agents out there that are making 250 or 200 or 150 new contacts each and every single week. My question would be, how long have you actually been doing that for? Your first 1,000 contacts, we have people in their first 1,000 contacts that take 5 listings. We have some people that don't take 5 listings until they make 3,000 contacts. Everybody's a little bit different. Your past is a little bit different. Your experiences are a little bit different. I talk to a lot of people about like your upbringing and your life, and you have a very unique setup, and it's created like a master salesperson, right? Some other people have not had to deal and go through the things in life that you have. And so they may get their license. Let's say you get your license at 18, they get their license at 18. Well, you kind of have an 18-year head start on them based on like everything we've talked about, versus they may be the person that never talked to anybody in their life. They may have been like that person that had 4 friends in school, was not very versatile, wasn't really willing to get out of their comfort zone, really like they were just kind of doing their own thing. And then they want to go become successful in real estate, and you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. You know, even if you want to do social media posts and videos, you got to get out of your comfort zone. You have to be somebody that somebody else would like to embody. And they go, man, you know, I think people want to take advice from other people who they would actually trade places with.
Yes.
And until you sound like somebody and you actually become that person that people would trade places with, you know, you have to actually put the sweat equity into this, right? And that sweat equity is like the universe is watching you. So I'll even go back a second. Typically, I'll meet with an agent who is experienced. Maybe they've sold 1 home in their life. Maybe they sold 20 homes in their life over 10 years, you know, because that could be very typical, unfortunately, right? What I'll find is I'll go, hey, how often are you prospecting? And they go, oh, well, I've tried prospecting before. Well, how many contacts were you making every day? Oh, I would be making like 30 a day. Okay, now were you making 30 contacts a day, or were you dialing 30 people a day? Oh, well, I guess I was dialing 30 people. Well, that means you probably only talked about 3 to 5 people. Is that correct? Yeah, I talked to like 3 to 5 people. Well, how well were those conversations going? Not well whatsoever. And so how many days did you do that for? Oh, I did that for like a month. Okay, how many days do you actually think you even did what you were talking about? Maybe I did it for a week or 2 weeks. So you already know they did it way less than that. They got on the phone. They probably had maybe a total of 20 contacts in this 2-3 week span. And trust me, they weren't good enough to really push the envelope and get anywhere on the call. I guarantee you, if I took you to the local LA Fitness at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and you ain't playing ball every day, you're gonna get your ass handed to you. But if you went in there each and every single day for 2, 3, 4 hours a day for an extended period of time, you could probably put some whooping on somebody. You could probably get some shots in. You could do some layups. You can block the ball. You're going to get more adequate in that department. But are you doing enough action? The biggest thing right now for an agent is going, hey, number one, I have to master these 4 things: mindset, skills, strategy, and execution. Right? And so if I don't master my mind, I'm really not going to build my skill development that well. I'm not really going to stick to a strategy, and I'm not going to really execute on a daily basis on anything. I'm really going to become such a good salesperson on selling myself what not to do versus what I should be doing. And that's the major issue. And just because I want to say this because it's on top of my mind, you know, there's a handful of agents in our organization right now that I can tell they're 3 feet from gold. They just started, but they're already kind of selling themselves on something else. And in reality, the difference between them and the people that have taken 4 or 5 listings is they leave 2 hours before. They're okay leaving without this, leaving without that, while the person that's sitting next to them downstairs is willing to be there for an extra hour until they get something. And the compound interest of that mindset pays so much in the long run. And so can you just be relentless for 90 full days, which is probably really 65 work days, if I had to guess? Can you do 65 solid work days in the next 90 days where you make no less than 30, make no less than 35, make no less than 40 contacts each and every single day? Soon as you master making the contacts, then you'll master finding the leads, then you'll master setting appointments, and you'll master converting on the appointments and taking the listings and then closing the deals, right? And so before you go, I want to have a badass perfect year, I want to have a badass perfect quarter, I want to have a badass perfect month, I want to have a badass a perfect week. Can I have a badass day? Can I just not leave today without talking to 40 people, right? And if I could do that today, and it's going to take me 3-4 hours to do it, can I do that again tomorrow and the next day? And then now you know, like, for example, let's say Alex is doing 40 contacts a day for the next month. If somebody says, hey man, come and do this with me tonight, or come do this morning, you're going to be like, no man, I'm on the, my momentum as far as doing what I said I was going to do is now long enough to where I'm not going to divulge from my diet, or I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? And so you have to stick with it long enough. And so, hey, can you master a day, then master 2 days, master a week? And when I mean master it, just don't leave without the contacts. And then the next level is don't leave without an appointment. And then don't leave without taking a listing or something. You know, like you have to, it's a level.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm working towards. Don't leave without a contacts. Don't leave without the contacts. That's just a matter of being willing to put in the time and the effort.
I think you're somebody that could go, and you do this, is like, see, guys, the contacts is really a reflection of the amount of time you're spending working in your business, right? Working on your business and building your business, right? So if somebody goes, oh, Chris, well, I only made 15 contacts today, and they're a brand new agent, or they're an experienced agent with not a lot of production going on, well, what are you doing the other 8 hours of the day? See, people who prospect at a high level and have been doing it and have built momentum and are really doing big things and taking 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus listings a month, what happens for those people is that they're in this position in which they're not going to lower their standard, but now they wish they had more time to prospect, because now these people actually have a lot of appointments to go on. Sometimes you may have a lot of appointments to go on and you're like, man, it feels impossible to talk to 30, 40 people today, right?
Oh, yeah, I've talked all about how, especially at the stage that I'm currently at in my business, where if I'm talking to, sometimes it does feel impossible. I'm going to be making contacts out of my car. I'm going to be making contacts going from appointment to appointment.
Lead follow-up,
you know, those are, especially as you have things in the pipeline, lead follow-up is part of your contacts, whether it's separate or whether it's in your whole bundle. That's really part of your own business. I did want to ask you, and I know we have to get going and wrap up soon. I really wanted to ask, when people are making these contacts, how important do you think mindset is as far as a factor in their resultant success? And more importantly, what can these agents who are making contacts and newer to this or maybe not seeing results yet do to cultivate their mindset?
I would say, number one, way too often, people are living on the mercy of somebody else. And if they've accepted that and they're okay with that, they're probably not going to build the mindset needed to become a dominant business owner, a badass salesperson, a great real estate agent. You have to have this understanding that I have to be the person that everybody else is living on the mercy of. Do you want to be the person that goes on vacation because your mommy paid for it and you're 30 years old? Or do you want to be the person that can take your mommy, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your fiance, you know, her mom and her dad on a vacation, spend $18,000, and like everybody's sitting at the table that night and they're there in paradise and it's beautiful, the weather's there, the food's there, the drinks are there, and none of that would have happened without you doing the goddamn work? Man, that's the difference, right? And so what I'll ask an agent in the office if they're not setting appointments, I go, how many times have you even had the conversation this morning since you got up that I'm going to actually take a listing today, that I'm going to have amazing conversations, that I'm going to set multiple appointments? Do you even believe, like when you come in, would you bet money that you're going to be setting an appointment today, a pre-qualified appointment, or would you not be betting all the money on you? And if you can't bet money on yourself, you don't go into it with that kind of attitude, you're not going to set appointments. The people that are setting appointments every day and taking listings every day, they're going into it going, I have an opening at 4:30 and 6:30, and I got to find 2 people to put in that slot that I can go sell their house. And my entire mission the first 3-4 hours of the day is to have the mindset of going, hey, number one, these people need me. Nobody's going to help them as much as I'm going to help them and give them the service that I'm going to give them. And I'm going to find people that need my help, and I'm going to get in front of them, and I'm going to help sell their property. And like nothing's going to stop me from doing that. Like I just got to be that relentless pursuit of that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yes. As I think I came up with this little phrase especially early in my career. I always say prospect relentlessly. That's basically step one.
Yeah.
Now, for those who may be interested in prospecting relentlessly, or at the very least interested in some real estate success, how can people find you on social media?
Yeah, so you're going to see him on Instagram as the Texas Real Estate Goat. And you can find me, just put in the name Chris Hardy Jr. on Instagram also, or Facebook or TikTok. I need to use TikTok and stuff like that more. We do have a lot coming out on YouTube and more stuff to come. But if somebody wants to find out more about ProAgent, they can just send me a DM. You can text me, call me, 713-822-5719. We can set up a 30-minute meeting. I can go over all the differences or all the different ways that you can work with ProAgent and start taking 2 to 5 plus listings each and every single month.
Perfect. Well, Chris, thank you so much for showing up here today to the Unlocking the Door podcast. It was awesome interviewing you. Lots of great motivational clips all throughout that I'm looking forward to sharing with everybody.
Thank you so much. And of course, because I'm a talker, it felt like it was 15 minutes, and I felt like I could go for 4 more hours. So we're definitely going to have to do a part 2 to this very soon.
Oh, there will be. There will be.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Max. Thanks to you as well.
Heck yeah.